Reese, the gorgeous movie star. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, it's been messy out here. I apologise.
No
It's been a bit crazy. It's not normally as crazy. It's at Gordon
sitting
Ramsay.
in crisps or something.
No, they're poppadoms. They're not called crisps.
I don't know what a papadum is.
What?
I barely know what a crisp is.
You never had a poppadom?
No.
Okay, well, we'll deal with educate you on Indian food later on if you
Okay,
look at
good.
it. It's lovely to have you here. You look fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
But I thought you'd hurt your foot. I'm
I
delighted
did.
to see you looking so splendid, but I thought I heard you'd broken your foot.
I did. I think I broke my foot. I'm not sure. I haven't had a scan yet or anything like that.
How did that happen?
Well, I was taking a nap yesterday because I was real tired from, I had jet lag. And you know when your foot kind of falls asleep while you're, and then I stood up and someone called me on the phone and I went and answered the phone and I said, oh, I tripped over my shoe or something. I looked down and it was my foot I had tripped over.
Oh my goodness.
And I hadn't had a thing to drink.
So your
I'm telling you, I was stone sober.
So your foot had fallen so far asleep
Yes.
that you couldn't feel it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
It was insensate and you tripped over it.
Yeah, and then it swelled up and then
Well, it's still a little bit swollen, I can see.
Yeah, it's all black and blue right there.
Wow, but you haven't been to a doctor?
Not yet.
Wow, that's grit. That's showing good southern grit right there.
I'll go.
Okay,
soon.
let me ask you, do you get recognised as much over here as you do in the States? Do you get people, do they shout out your name when they see you, or do they just double take and think, I think I know her?
Yeah, I mean, I get recognized. A lot of people confuse me with other people.
Yeah, now, I believe you had a meeting with our Prime Minister, Gordon Brown.
I did.
And he wasn't quite sure who you were, or he mixed you up with someone else. Is this correct?
He did. He mixed me up with Renee Zellweger. But that's okay. You know what? I understand, because she and I get mixed up a lot.
So what did he say? Did he say, I loved you in Bridget Jones?
No. He said something in Parliament about how he had heard me speak at Anthony Minghell's funeral, but that wasn't me. It was Renee, and she's lovely, and she's short and blonde and southern, so I understand.
But you don't mind that? You don't mind getting mistaken? Do you think she gets mistaken for you ever?
Yeah, she does. I mean, she actually like, called a friend of ours, and she was like, I heard about it, and it happens to me all the time, yeah. I have a dog, and I took my dog to the vet, and I said, like, you know, there's my dog. And they said, no, we're waiting for Renee Zellweger's dog. And I said, well, actually, this is my dog. Everybody gets us kind of confused a lot, but there's worse people to be confused with.
Well, have you ever
other than a lovely actress.
Yes,
so.
that's true. Now, I loved you in Walk the Line. Well, I've loved a number of your movies, but Walk the Line, wow, what a great performance and what a great part to get. But initially, you were reluctant, am I right? That you weren't sure whether you should take it on?
Oh, well, no, I wanted to do the movie because I had actually known Johnny Cash's granddaughter growing up, and I thought that it was they're a great couple, it's a great story, but then they asked me to do the singing in the movie, and I can't sing. So I went through all the rehearsals, and they were like, no, we really want you to sing. I was like, can't you get somebody else to sing? Because there's all these people who are really talented and paid to do it. But they ended up saying, no, we actually don't want to pay any of those people. We want to have you do it. So.
But this wasn't them being cheap. This was they wanted it to be on stage. They wanted it to feel real.
Yeah, they wanted it to feel real. So
which you did.
Yeah, so Joaquin and I went through 7 months of training.
Wow.
And, we learned how to play instruments and vocal training and yeah, and we ended up recording an album.
But what a great experience.
Do you know what's so funny is like because if somebody said, oh, go record an album, and you think you sound so good, you know, when you're singing in the shower or you're like driving your car, you're like, I sound just like Beyonce when I sing that. You know, you do that. And then you actually record an album, and they play it back for you, and you sound like a cat that's dying. Oh my God, don't make me do this.
But it sounded
But they
great.
somehow made it sound good.
Well,
so.
no, I'm sure it did. You know, maybe it's your own voice you don't want to hear. You want to hear.
Yeah, you don't want to hear your own voice, and then you realize that they can make anybody sound good.
Do you want to sing a little bit of Beyonce with me right now?
No, really.
Just put a ring on it. You want to join in with that?
No, I don't.
You have an Oscar.
Yes.
Congratulations, deservedly so. Fabulous performance. What a great thing, and what a. I guess in a way, you know, the job in itself, you're doing what you want to do, and you know you've given a good performance. But I guess, is there a kind of feeling of, does it vindicate you somehow? Does it feel like you've achieved something that you...
Certainly, but I mean, you know, you never like do a movie and think you're going to get an award for it. In fact, you know, when they all started telling me like, oh, you know, you're going to get nominated for an award, I was like, please don't. Please don't. I don't know how to handle that.
Were your children excited that you won the Oscar? Were they
no,
excited?
Yeah, well, actually, the day after I won the Oscar, my kids had known I was getting dressed up and I was going out, and the next day my daughter was 6, I think. And she was in kindergarten. And I went up to her room and I said, honey, you know, we were getting ready for school, and I said, you know that award that Mommy told you I was going to last night? Mommy won. And she goes, well, I lost my tooth yesterday, so that means we're both winners because I'm the first kid in kindergarten to lose a tooth. It just puts everything in perspective, and you just go, exactly, that's how
That's a lovely thing.
unimportant it is.
But having said that, you've still got the Oscar. Where's that tooth now, hey?
That's a damn good question.
Let's remind her of that when she gets uppity.
Yeah.
Where do you keep the Oscar? Do you have it
And
somewhere?
it's certainly not covered in gold and sparkling in my living room.
So you have it in your living room, yeah?
We dress it up in little costumes, too. For Christmas, it has, well, you know, it has like an Easter outfit. And it has a little tuxedo. And then it also wears dresses sometimes. And then it also wears like a little Santa hat at the Christmas time.
I think you spend a bit too much time with that Oscar. All right, let's talk about why you're over here, because you said you had a conversation with Gordon Brown, and there's a very specific reason. More often than not, when we have people on this show, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy with that state of affairs. They're on because they have a movie out that we want to talk about, or a book or something. Reese has no such thing. It's a different issue altogether. Tell us why you visited the UK.
Well, I'm actually here with a company, Avon, that we're promoting a campaign against domestic violence here in the UK. So we're promoting a program that we've set up a website called 4waystospeakout.com, and you can go on the website to, you know, just find information about domestic violence and how you can help. And you know, 1 in 4 women in this country are dealing with domestic violence.
That's a terrifying statistic.
Yeah, 2 women die every week in this country at the hands of a partner or a former partner. So it's a very serious issue. You know, it's something, you know, the Prime Minister is very involved in, and certainly his wife is very involved in women's aid. And Gordon Ramsay as well. And
this is to encourage people to overcome the stigma of speaking out, or to feel like there will be help if they do?
Certainly. I mean, I think it's the kind of thing that a lot of people don't talk about. There's a lot of shame involved. And
because they feel like, in a way, that they're encouraging it, or they're creating the situation themselves? Is that it?
I mean, it's embarrassing. I think it's embarrassing to a lot of people who I've spoken to. And I think, you know, we're just trying to break down the stigma of talking about it, and also really trying to find recourse for people through the website. They can reach out. They can learn how to talk to a friend if they suspect this might be happening in their lives. And also just, you know, find some legal recourse as well.
So a lot of these things often, raising awareness is often the first very positive step, isn't it? So people know it's going on and know that, you know, you're not the only one.
Yes, absolutely. And it's very brave of a company, a big corporation, to sort of get behind a campaign like this that is, you know, sort of dealing with things that are hard for people to talk about.
It's hard to talk about. It's not a pretty story.
No,
it's not a nice thing in people's lives.
Absolutely.
And for a company like Avon to do that is, that's very impressive. Are they behind it in the States as well?
Absolutely. We're doing it in the States. I've been to Japan. I've been to Brazil. I'm going to Russia soon. So it's been really fulfilling, and it's been very educational for me.
Why in particular this cause for you? Because I'm sure, like most famous people, I bet you get a lot of people asking you to put your name to things.
Certainly. That's a good question. I did a lot of work with children's charities for a long time, and I kind of discovered through that work that the best way you can help a kid is by empowering their mother, and either economically or just through the power of, you know, helping them out of a bad situation. So that's what sort of inspired this work.
So in a way, you're still kind of helping kids, but going to the kind of...
Certainly. I mean, there's a lot of kids in these families that are dealing with a lot of violence, and it's unacceptable, and it needs to stop.
Well, it's a lovely thing you're doing. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we should certainly thank you for coming over and also for being involved in that. Yeah. Really. Well, I know you're doing it because you care, but still, it's nice to know people thank you for that. And so this is the first time you've been to the UK to talk about it, I guess, is that right?
It is. It's not, you know, I've been here many times. I've made 2 movies here, so I have...
Which ones did you make here?
I made a movie called Vanity Fair.
Oh, that was great. I love Vanity Fair. It was terrific.
Thank you. And then I did a movie called The Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh, yes, I remember that. It wasn't bad.
I like that movie.
It was good, but it was no Vanity Fair, was it?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And now, let's talk about Legally Blonde a little bit, because I love both those movies.
You do?
Man, I love Legally Blonde. Really? What's wrong with that? I love the Legally Blonde. I can even do the bend and snap. I love Legally Blonde.
I love that you admit that. That's you know the bend and snap?
What's another bend and snap?
Are you serious?
Another bend and snap.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And now we're going to bring out...
Your mother and father.
Renee Zellweger's coming to meet you. I almost called you Renee then. I was going to say, Renee, great to have you here. Reese, I love it to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Reese Witherspoon.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Reese Witherspoon, ladies and gentlemen.